Hello, my name is Kobe. I'm recording this presentation of the CSS Keyframes for my WDD230 class. Basically, the Keyframes is a framework built within CSS that allows us to build custom functions. So just how there are already pre-built functions like transform, Keyframes allows us to make our own functions like that. So the syntax to start the keyframe right here is @keyframes with the function name. So for example, this one is basic animation. And to make a CSS keyframe, the minimum that you need at least 4 things. An element, like this one, basic animation, with the animation name, as well as a duration, which is 3 seconds. If you leave out duration, the default is 0 seconds, so it doesn't play at all. And iteration count is not required. If you don't use that, it's just 1. This is just to make it easy to understand. And the third thing you need is at least 2 CSS stylings. For example, this one switches from the background color, which is this green, to this black background color. And the words that it uses, from is a starting point. You can also use 0%, is the same thing. And 2 also means 100%. So exact same thing, just different terminology. When you would use the percentage, from and to is 0 to 100, whereas the from and to, 0% and 100%, you can also use any number in between that. For example, if you show the timing one here, I'll actually go down to this one. So this one has multiple, as you can see. And I'll show an example. So this is a basic keyframe animation. And keyframes start as soon as you load a website. So if I reload this one, see it automatically starts playing. And you can control this by adding a JavaScript event listener like the onClick and toggle class list to add a class to an element. And in the CSS file, you tie the animation attributes to that toggled class, and the keyframe animation will activate on a button click. And so as you can see, just like this one, it will activate, and I'll explain the timing in a minute. So one of the first things is timing. So you can specify the timing of the animation using the animation timing function property, and that shows the speed that it will go in. So the 6 different options is timing, ease, linear, ease in, ease out, ease in out, and cubic Bezier. So the ease is default. It means it will start the animation and end the animation slowly, and the middle point will be fast. The second is linear, where the entire animation is the exact same speed from start to end. The third is ease in, where the animation will start slowly and speed up as time goes on. The fourth is ease out, where the animation will start quickly and then slow down as time goes on. And the fifth is ease in out, where the animation starts and ends slowly. It's very similar to ease as the default, a little bit different. And the sixth and final is cubic Bezier, where you can define your own values. This function, you set 4 points. It says x1, y1, x2, and y2. So you can set that to any point that you would like. And this timing one just goes from the left-hand side to the right-hand side. We'll show an example. So we click on it. You can see ease, the speeding up in the middle. Linear, the same speed the entire way. Ease in, it was starting slowly and then sped up as time went on. And the fourth was ease out. It sped up really fast at the beginning, but then slowed down as it went through. And ease in out was very similar to ease. Ease is going a little bit faster through the middle, whereas ease in out is a bit medium. And this cubic Bezier, it's set to jump really, really fast at the beginning and go really slow at the end. And the next one is the repeat function. So sorry, the delay function actually. I have it changed here. So the delay function, self-explanatory. You can set have the duration set here. And it's self-explanatory, so you can delay the animation to start based on seconds. So if you don't specify delay, the default is 0, so it doesn't show anything. And so this will delay it by 2 seconds. This will delay by negative half a second. That one started off early. It skips anything in the beginning that was within that window. And positive, this one was delayed by 2 seconds. So we start over again. It waits a few seconds, then starts going. So that one will speed up. So I'll go at the same speed. The negative started earlier. And the repeat function, that one is also self-explanatory. It just repeats the animation multiple times. The default is just 1, so it only occurs once. And you can set anywhere from 1 to infinite. So for example, this one will repeat 3 times, and we have infinite. This one repeats once, and twice, and then 3 times, and this one just keeps on moving. It will never ever stop. And the next is the direction function, that's also self-explanatory. A lot of CSS keyframes is self-explanatory. It's just the direction that it takes. So normal is default. It just plays from the beginning of the animation to the end. Reverse is the opposite, where it plays from the end to the beginning. Alternate and alternate reverse are interesting, as alternate plays from the beginning to the end, and then from the end to the beginning. An alternate reverse is the opposite, so it plays from the end to the beginning, and then from the beginning to the end. And you have to set at least 2 iterations. Right? Because the beginning to the end for alternate is the very first iteration. If you only set it once, it will only do the beginning to end. So you have to set at least 2, so it will complete both of those. And same for the alternate reverse. So we'll show an example here. As you can see, still going. So for the direction, normal and alternate are going from the beginning. Normal jumps back to the beginning and just keeps going. Reverse is the opposite, so it starts at the very end, as you can see, and then goes. Alternate reverse also starts at the very end, but it doesn't jump back. Alternate and alternate reverse fluidly go from beginning to end and end to beginning. And you can set that to go as many times as you want. Once alternate reverse reaches its end, it will always jump to the very beginning. And the next is the fill mode. The word fill is doesn't really make sense with it, but it basically will have whatever styling that you set it to be. So normally, before the animation plays, the element will have whatever styling is determined outside of the function. So if you set like the background color to red, the font size to 10 pixels, it will keep that. And if you adjust that in the animation, that's when it will change. And you can override that, or after the animation plays, the element will return back to that original styling. You can use fill mode to overwrite that. So the default is none, so it just doesn't do anything different, it just reverts back. Forwards means it will play through the animation as normal, then it will stay on whatever the last keyframe was. So if there's a color change, it will stay on that color change. Backwards means the first keyframe will immediately play. So it will show, like say the last color is a red, it will show the red immediately, regardless of any delays. So you have a 2-second delay, then it will then start that delay, and then the animation will then play as normal. Then the styling will revert back to how it was before the animation, similar to the default of none. And then both is a combination of forwards and backwards. So it shows the backward styling the very first time, places the animation as normal, then stays on the last keyframe with the forwards. Example, this one changes the color and the motion throughout of it. Go to the example. You see it switches to that last color, then changes the color as it goes through, repeats, and then the forwards will show the last one. The backwards showed the last one the very first time, same with both, and then forwards and both keep the forwards positioning at the very end. And the final one is shorthand. So there's two different ways that you can write it. So these attributes can clog up your code and make it really long, as you can tell with this one. So you can actually write it in shorthand with one single line. So these two do the exact same thing. As you can see, this is just one single line, whereas this is quite a lot. So the syntax for shorthand is the name of the function, the duration, the timing, the delay, how many times it repeats, the direction it moves, and then the fill mode. With keyframes as well, for these percentages, you can type them all on one single line. But if you do a lot, as you can see here, that can get a little bit hard to read. So you can actually switch it to be in a block form, like CSS often is. That does make the code quite a bit longer, but it makes it quite a bit easier to read. So for an example with that one, you can do quite a lot with it. So you click on shorthand, it will spin and do quite a lot. That's my presentation. Thanks.